What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Crossbones. And so here we have Crossbones posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what he comes with. Crossbones does come with 4 different guns. We do get 2 space guns. Hydra guns, I really don't like these ones. They're cast in a swirly twirly silver plastic, and they do fit into his holsters. And then we also do get the Nerf barrel break, which kind of looks like a shotgun, so you can treat it as a shotgun. It's a Nerf barrel break, so that's what it is, and it fits in both of his hands nicely. His final accessory is the right arm of the Crimson Dynamo, which we will probably never finish on this channel, so there might not even be a review for that figure. With that out of the way, guys, let's actually take a closer look at Crossbones. And so here we have a closer look at Crossbones, and I have to say, there's things I like about him. I'm not going to lie. There are a couple of things I like about this figure, and there's some things I just don't like about this figure. So let's actually look at some of the things about this figure. One of the things I really do like is the head sculpt. That is a really nice head sculpt for Crossbones. One thing I don't like about it, the paint applications. Now, everything from here looks good. That is fantastic. That is perfect for Crossbones. You get to the top of his mask, and unfortunately you can see a distinct line right there. That's showing me that they did not use enough layers on the white to go up onto his mask, which is a little bit unfortunate because there's a huge contrast between the white used for his face part of his mask and then the top of his mask. That I don't really like, but what I do like is that sculpt. It does look like Crossbones, and I have to say this is one of Hasbro's better sculpts, and I even like the little tassels, although I would have liked it if the tassels were articulated so that you can have them down, you can style them. They're just always off to the right, unfortunately, so you can't do anything about that. But they do look nice. If you look on the back, they actually did sculpt the folds in the mask, so you can see it does have the little tassels in the back. So I do like that. Something I also do like about the figure is the paint apps right here on his Crossbones logo. That is really clean. There is a little bit of flesh color paint right there, but that's very small and you don't really notice it unless you're really nitpicking it. Something I don't like about this figure is the fact that they use the Hyperion body for Crossbones. I think we're at an age in which we can retire the Hyperion body and give us a better body for bigger guys. Now, I don't know how I feel about it. I think this is a okay body. On top of this, I actually have his head posed so that you don't see one glaring issue with the figure. If we actually have him looking straight and not looking down, he has a really long neck, and that's one thing I don't like. If they had found a way to sit his head lower, if we can pop his head off really fast, if his head sat about here, it wouldn't be much of an issue, but the fact that it sits all the way up here, it's an issue. His head should be right there, and we'd have no problem. If his head was bigger, it would make sense, but unfortunately, it's not. And now we have a giraffe of Crossbones, and that's not good. I would have liked to see that done a little bit better. So you can hide it a little bit by having him look down, and it does compensate a little bit, but he's going to have that long neck no matter what. So unless you mod the figure, that long neck is here to stay. One thing I do like is the sculpt work on his arms. I think they did a really good job on his arms. He's ripped, he has musculature. I kind of wish that he was a little bit bigger in the sense that his arms were bigger, kind of like the Thunderbolts pack for the original Crossbones figure. I do like the fact that they added these nice little pouches along his hands. Now, I don't know what he would be wearing in pouches this small. It just seems like something that they really shouldn't have done, but it adds to the figure, I'm not going to lie. Something that is also done fairly well is his belt. You can see the buckle right here is painted really nicely with that golden or bronze color. But unfortunately, none of the pouches are painted. There's no dry brushing. There's no wash added to it. It's just there. I really do hope that Hasbro would add some kind of dry brushing to the belts, because that's something that they should do. If they do it with the hair, they can obviously do it with the belts. Now, these space guns do fit in the holster, like I did say, and they do fit nicely. I'm honestly considering just chopping these holsters off because they do hinder articulation a little bit, and I'm going to have them pose with a shotgun barrel break, so I really don't have any need for space guns. So more than likely I'm going to end up chopping these off at some point if they don't break off first. But taking a look, he's just cast in black plastic. Now, something they did do different from the standard Hyperion mold is they gave him unique, I don't know how unique they are, if it's something that we've seen before, but he does have new lower legs with folds and wrinkles. It's different from the spandex that he's wearing here, which is a little bit odd that he like lift up his spandex so they would wrinkle like that so that he could wear these really nice glossy boots. Really love the glossy boots. I don't know what it is about these high gloss high boots that I love so much. I just love it. It looks so nice, and there's actually sculpt work in the boots. If there's one thing to take away from this figure, he's got really nice boots, and these are boots I wish I owned for work. And then he also does have some texture detail at the bottom of his boots, but not a lot. They didn't add any treads, which is a little bit unfortunate. So overall, Crossbones here is a little bit of a hodgepodge of some good stuff, some bad stuff, some really nice stuff, and some really terrible stuff. So that's really interesting to say on a figure, that he's kind of yes and no all at the same time. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get them compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Crossbones posed next to a Marvel Legends, Cyclops, and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Crossbones posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Crossbones posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we have Crossbones posed next to a Marvel Legends 40-year anniversary Captain America and Marvel Legends Winter Soldier. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a closer look at Crossbones' articulation. Now, he is using the Hyperion body, so it is something that we've seen before. There's really nothing new here. He does have a ball joint in the head, which does let him look up and down really slightly. We really don't get too much movement on that. We get some really slight head tilts, but in all actuality, I wish his head sat lower. We do get a hinge, which does go all the way back, all the way forward, no problem. And of course, it does rotate. Arms do go out to the side, all the way past horizontal, so that's pretty good. They do a full 360 swivel at the bicep. He has a double bend in the elbow, which works pretty well. He is swivel and has an up and down hinge for the guns, which I do like that. We do get an ab crunch, which goes all the way back, all the way forward. Now, unfortunately, mine is a little bit loose. It's not like it's super loose that it can't hold weight, but you can see it does give out over time, so that's something I'm going to have to fix up. Waist swivel works no problem. Legs do kick forward to about right there. They go back hardly out to the side. Much better than a lot of Spider-Man figures, so that's something to note for a big guy. He does have a swivel at the thigh. Double bend at the knee, goes up only to about that far. I want to say it goes up further, but no, it doesn't. It kind of runs into itself right down here. We do have a boot cut swivel, which works fine. Hinge in the ankle, it goes all the way back, almost all the way forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, really good articulation here on Crossbones. It isn't something we haven't seen before, but it works for the figure. So what we're going to do now is get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Crossbones posed for my final thoughts, and overall, I'm kind of torn between this figure. I want to say he's a good figure. He looks pretty good, but at the same time, it's hard to ignore these glaring issues that he kind of has, especially that really long neck. Again, once you get him posed, it's easy to hide all this figure's shortcomings, and that's pretty much what you want in articulation. If it was a statue and you couldn't pose him around, all those glaring issues would be highlighted even more. But at least the fact that he gets to move around does show that, you know, you can cover up some of the figure's shortcomings, so that's something I do like. I kind of wish that Crossbones here came with actual guns. I don't know why the heroes can get actual weapons and then the villains have to get space guns and Nerf guns. I don't understand it. I kind of wish that we got 2 actual shotguns and maybe a Gatling gun, because that's something that Crossbones is known for. He's known for having that minigun, so that's a huge missed opportunity here. But overall, if you don't have any of the original Crossbones figures from Hasbro, go ahead and pick up this figure. I don't have any old Crossbones to compare him to. I know they did have issues with the sculpt, but they did look good. This one, you can get him to look good, but he's not going to look good just as is, so you do gotta work for it a little bit, and I'm sorry about that power surge. If you're looking for Crossbones here, he is kind of difficult to track down. Between the Black Widow figures I've seen in stores, Spymaster, the Red Guardian, and Black Widow sister seem to be the easiest to find. Winter Soldier, Taskmaster, Crossbones, and Black Widow, surprisingly, pretty hard to track down, so if you are looking for Crossbones, you might have to pick them up online. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Marvel Legend videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments. And if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, don't forget to check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.